Hey guys, how's it going? So today Walmart announced that they are going to stop carrying certain types of ammunition, including handgun ammunition and ammunition for certain types of rifles that they don't deem that people should be able to have and that they don't think that you need. Now, they've also said that they are going to start asking people not to open carry in their stores, which in turn is going to prohibit a certain section of people from protecting themselves. In some states you don't need a permit to carry at all, which is the way all states should be. In other cases, people just can't afford to have a permit, and they still have the right to protect themselves. And these are God-given rights that were enshrined in the Second Amendment, but not given to us by anything. But Walmart obviously doesn't respect those rights, which that should come as no surprise, because Walmart has a long history of not supporting rights, civil rights, and human rights. Over the last decade or so, Walmart has shut down an untold amount of small businesses, most likely tens of thousands, and in turn has further supported the regime in China by giving much business to China, where there are virtually no human rights, no civil rights. You don't have the right to keep and bear arms in China. In fact, you don't even have the right to choose how many children you have. So it's no surprise at all to me whatsoever that Walmart's doing this. And furthermore, Walmart's going to go through and they're sending letters to the White House and to the Congress, and they're going to express their support for red flag laws, what they call so-called universal background checks, and assault weapons bans. Again, I'm not surprised because Walmart doesn't have much of a history of supporting human rights whatsoever. Now, as soon as I found out about this, I clicked on the news a little bit. Don't blame you guys if you don't watch the news. And I see these same people on there, political candidates, calling for universal background checks, assault weapons bans, red flag laws, and many, many other things, up to and including gun confiscation. Robert O'Rourke talking about how if he becomes president, he will implement a mandatory buyback, and said you are required by law to sell your gun to the federal government. Now, this is completely hypocritical and obviously a lie, because you can't sell something back to somebody that they never sold you to begin with. I never bought guns from the government. Did you guys? So it's impossible for me to sell it back. What he really means is confiscation. Door-to-door confiscation. Taking your guns, taking what you use to protect your family, to protect yourself, your friends, your loved ones, and to ultimately protect your country if necessary. And I would note, Robert Francis isn't going to come up to your house unarmed and try to have a civil conversation with you and negotiate a price to buy your guns. No, he's going to send armed police, armed federal agents to your door to invoke this mandatory buyback. Look, these people aren't afraid anymore. They're not trying to beat around the bush. They're literally telling us what they want to do. They want to ban the sale of ammo so that we can't practice anymore. They're trying to ban a whole category of guns. They are trying to take away our rights of privacy with red flag laws and encourage our neighbors, our friends, or our enemies to flag us, turn us in, do the government's dirty work so they can get more guns off the street. And they can deprive people of their lawfully owned property with no due process of the law. Most of them now are supporting an assault weapons ban. And here's a quick history lesson for you young people out there. We already had an assault weapons ban from 1994 to 2004. And right smack dab in the middle of that 10-year period, while there was a ban on so-called all assault weapons in this country, violent crime rose to an all-time high. And after this ban had expired in 2004, we've seen crime actually decrease. Now look, the world's a scary place. There's a lot of people that are killed every day. There's people killed in the inner cities that nobody in the news seems to talk about, and that nobody in the political sphere seems to talk about or care about, because you know what? It's not cool to run on, oh, we have low income places that have been run by Democrats. We have violent places that have been normally run by Democrats, and that's where most of the people are being killed. They're not talking about that. They're not talking about the fact that during these recent, quote, mass shootings, more people were killed in places like Chicago and Detroit. But they don't talk about that. But here's what I'm going to say about it. Yeah, the world's a dangerous place. Liberty and freedom comes with inherent dangers. And as crime seems to be rising, and no doubt there's mental health problems in this country, there's a lot of people that are losing it, that can't cope with society, can't deal with reality, and they feel like taking a bunch of people out with them on their way out. And I don't understand what goes on in the minds of these monsters, and I probably never will. But I can tell you this. If the world's so dangerous, and if the United States is so dangerous, like they all tell us it is, then we need to have our own personal, lawfully owned guns more than ever. We need to be able to protect our families, ourselves, our loved ones, and our country with the tools that we deem fit, the tools that we're most comfortable with, the tools that when the bad guy comes in the middle of the night and you only have seconds to protect your family, that you can use whatever you feel is necessary to protect yourself and to make sure that good people don't get harmed or even killed. And look, many of the people running for the Democratic candidacy right now, they're not even holding back anymore. They're literally saying, we want them all. We want to go door to door and buy back things that they can't buy back because, first of all, they're not for sale. Second of all, we didn't buy them from them, right? They're calling to ban whole classes of guns. Guns that include the AR-15, that is the most commonly owned rifle, sporting rifle in this country. Guns like the AK-47, which is a very commonly owned recreational gun that is also used for home defense, personal defense, and other perfectly legitimate things. Joe Biden called for any gun that has a magazine that can hold multiple rounds. So he wants to outlaw all guns that can accept more than one round of ammunition. This would obviously even affect the skeet shooters and the hunters. So we know basically the people on the far left, unfortunately, are basically after all of our guns, every last one. And here's the problem. Even a lot of the Republicans now, while they might resist some of the more extreme notions, they're still fully in support of leading us down that path. It seems to me a lot of the Republicans lately, including the president, support red flag laws, possible, quote, universal background checks, pretending we don't even have background checks, because anyone that's taken one before, that's actually filled out the paperwork, knows that we have background checks, but they want to invoke those. So it's not really a matter of just going to the Republicans and saying, hey, you know, we want you to help protect our gun rights, when they're the ones trying to take them too. And if you guys are sitting there thinking to yourself, this is all getting to be crazy, this is all getting to be way too much, I wish somebody else was calling the congressmen. I hope enough other people are calling the senators. I hope enough other people are calling the White House, because I really don't want this to happen. And here's how I look at it. If you're looking for somebody to stop all this crap and hold these people accountable and tell them no way, no more, and you're looking for somebody to stop them from trying to take away our rights, that somebody is you. All right, thanks for watching, and have a good one.